Hello, everybody. I believe we are now live. Apologies for any issues there. No idea what has happened. Just one of those things. Welcome to the final round, of course, of the Race Anywhere World Series here at Le Mans. It's very interesting to see what's been going on because we know championships are at hand, but championships have already been decided due to things that has happened in the race so far. So just give you a quick rundown. You see a lot of people in the pits at the moment. That is mainly due to the fact of championship leaders in the amateur 1 Manuel Correa and Michael Padovan have both crashed out early in the race on lap 2 here at Le Mans. It's a 20-lap race, give or take, maybe 19 laps. So what that does mean is 1 Manuel Correa does win the championship, but we don't know what's going to be happening in P2 for the amateurs. So we still got to work out what happens for the rest of the podium spots there for the Pro Championship. As we're watching the pros here, Fabian Scheisek, he cannot get P3, unfortunately. There's no James Armstrong tonight. Oscar Copa will be winning the championship, providing he finishes the race, because if he doesn't finish the race and get 0 points, it's all to play for Sean Campbell. So that's what we're just seeing at the moment. And then we do have the situation in the Pro-Ams. And with the Pro-Ams at the moment, Daniel essentially does lead the championship to Ethan Bass by 15 points. And at the moment, Ethan Bass is P2. Sophie Ridpad leading the way for the Pro-Ams, as you can see. And then it is Daniel Sedgley that is currently P3. So with the 5-point difference, of course, in the championship, basically Ethan Bass needs to win by 3 positions over Daniel Sedgley to win the championship. Not happening at the moment. Alvin Kelberg has also retired the car from what I believe. I just got to get a double check on that, but I believe Alvin Kelberg has retired the car. He has retired the car. So P3 is still up for battle between, well, it is basically Thomas Reiter and Mitchell Marshalkover, but there's 20 points between the two of them. And with Thomas Reiter also currently sitting down the order, there is a chance for Marshalkover to make some moves there, but Reiter can still win. We're looking at Thomas Reiter right now for Panda 1 Racing. As I was saying, in the amateurs at the moment, we're going to see a lot of trains at the moment, a lot of slipstreaming as well. For the amateurs, that P3 battle is going to be very juicy. And we'll get to that shortly as well, because now with the championship decided and 1 Manuel Correa is the champion, it does mean that Michael Padovan has to just have a nervous wait between Simon Dodd and Andrew Madel. And Andrew Madel currently sitting P2, Simon Dodd sitting P3 in the amateurs. Andrew Madel needs to beat Simon Dodd by 2 clear points, or 10 clear points, sorry, to 2 clear positions. Not going his way at the moment. Unfortunately, that would leave him P4 in the championship, and it would throw Simon Dodd into a surprising P2. Here at the moment, this is Daniel Sedgley following the back of that Ford. Yes, that is Ethan Bass in front, following the back, and he does have Harry Wills behind, and Mitchell Marshalkover right behind them as well. Daniel Sedgley is right here. He's got Harry Wills right on the back of him, and you'll get back to see Harry Wills come to the side of him very shortly, as Harry Wills going to use that slipstream as Ethan Bass pulls over to the right. He's going to be using that slipstream, and Harry Wills will take that position away from Daniel Sedgley. There he is in shot. He gets that, and just look at everybody just fall in line. And of course, remember, he's got Marshalkover right behind him as he continues on that path. There is a car up ahead, as you can see as well. You may just see it in addition to that Sophie Ridpad. Sophie's had a fantastic run at the start of the race. She's been able to just weather the storm. It's been a very interesting storm by everybody, if I'm brutally honest, because with the new the new changes to the GT3s, everyone is still trying to work out how to drive these things, and it's been a very challenging time for some of these drivers. Some of them don't exactly know how to set these cars up, and it's very tough as well when people are still trying to learn how to set these cars up. So at the moment, it's basically a war of attrition. We've seen a lot of drivers make some mistakes. A lot of drivers just have a bit of slides. Pros are in the pits. Remember, there's only 3 pros today with no James Armstrong, so don't expect a lot of fanfare by the 3 of them. Oscar Copa has the championship wrapped up, and Sean Campbell will be taking P2. So it's an RSR going to be 1 and 2 in the championship, and they may win the team championship. They've been dominating that all season. I was expecting some fuel saving, and it's very interesting to see only 25 minutes these guys have been able to last out there. And of course, that is a nature of the Le Mans track. And if they pitted lap 7, we're looking at 19 laps maybe. You get the idea. We're looking roughly at a pit stop at lap, I want to say lap 14. Do the other drivers coming? You see, even Bass has not pitted. The rest of the Pro-Ams, sorry, they are in the pit. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because a lot of these drivers have been all over the place. The positions have been changing so much, and such is the nature of the Circuit de Sable that an off-track does spell disaster. And we have seen that earlier in the race. Unfortunately, not on stream. A little bit of confusion, a little bit of an apologies there for a late start to the stream. But I do want to give a good thanks to David for just stepping in at the, I wouldn't say the 11th hour. I think we'll be looking at the 2 a.m. basically. So, unfortunately, it's just one of those things at the moment, and the Pro-Ams are now out of the pits as we're looking at the pros. Very interesting what's happened. Is not a lot. Mitchell Marshalkova did overtake Daniel Sedgley, but that is the only changes in the Pro-Ams at the moment. And watching the pros come down to Mulsanne 1. I believe this is the one they now call Daytona in the little partnership with IMSA and the ACO. I think that the first chicane is now called Daytona. Andrew Madel gets ahead. It says he gets ahead there in the timing tower. Remember, that's the amateur battle, Madel and Dodd. But that's only because Andrew Madel has a pit box higher up in the pit lane, and he is going to have a little bit of help. In fact, I say higher up. Look, he's right there. There's the back of Andrew, and there you go. Simon Dodd will get by. That's not what Madel wants to see. He knows that even if he wins this race, he won't leapfrog up into P3 in the championship, because unfortunately the countback, it does not go his way in the championship. He'd be if he won the championship, right? If he won the race tonight, he'd be sitting on 785 with Michael Pannerman. And first tiebreaker goes to most wins. Well, with Pannerman's series really all through, unfortunately, just the last couple races did not work for him. But there is Andrew, and he's got Simon Dodd in front of him, and they have a healthy lead from the rest of the amateurs. So, if Madel wants to get that P3, it is going to be very tough. I mean, very tough. He needs... I would even go as far as saying a Max Verstappen miracle, as they said, because he's going to need Simon Dodd to make a mistake that makes him lose 20 seconds in the pits. How's he going to do that? We don't know. We'll wait and see with 48 minutes left in the race. That's Harry Wills losing a little bit of time to the back of Sophie Ridpad, but is trying to catch up as much as he can. He was a second faster last lap to Ridpad. The moment he gets behind, and this has actually been a recurring theme for Wills all season, that Sophie Ridpad has been a very tough jar to open. And he's been unable to get around Sophie on tracks with long straights. So we're talking Watkins Glen, for example, was one of the tracks that he really struggled to get past that Ferrari. Can he do that today, especially on a track like this, especially with the aero like this nowadays? It's going to be tough. And of course, Marshalkova right behind him, hoping he doesn't get caught up in, I got to be brutally honest, another incident, because Marshalkova at one stage of the race led the race due to a spinner, but at Porsche curve, which expect to see that quite a bit today. And unfortunately, that cost him, because he got the lead, but unfortunately he then took too much speed because he lost his rhythm and he took a slowdown at the Corvette curve. So they come down that lovely straight, the Bouchon straight, down into the Porsche curve. And look at the dirty air. Look at the dirty air into virage. And oh, wheels to the wall! And he can't. Schalkeberg! No, that is not what either of them wanted to see. Absolutely what either of them did not want to see. And Wills is stuck in the wall. That is heavy damage. And that car just bit. I know Wills has had trouble all race. And there's nowhere for Schalkeberg to go. Wills just gets sucked into the wall. And that is such a shame. We're going to see it on the replay. I know from practice, Will's been struggling with the Porsche curves here. And he gets around Porsche curve. He's losing the balance here. He gets the virage to point. And the car's just gone already. The car's twitching. And that's the line Mashalkova's got to run. He's got no time to make a reaction. If he makes a reaction, he's going to cause a bigger mess. And unfortunately, that's Mashalkova's race over. That could be his championship over. And in fact, when you look at it as well, that may just decide the rest of the championship. Even Bass, Daniel Sedgley are still battling for the championship lead. Thomas Reiter now is one of the only cars left out there. Is there any cars left out there that want to race at the moment? Possibly, but Thomas Reiter will get his P3 in the championship. Now, these pros, they want to race. They're having a bit of fun. Maybe to try to take Sean Campbell and Oscar Copa. They're having their fun out there. At the moment, you can start to see they're just working their way around, just having the time of their life. No need to be too erratic. They know what they need to do. They do know what they need to do, and it's just stay alive. For Oscar, definitely stay alive. He could finish P3 and still win the championship here. He does not need to do anything erratic. This for him is just a nice little day trip. So we do have the classes now loaded up, and it does look very weird. There's Mashalkova technically sitting P5, but of course that is updated very shortly. We'll get that done. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be coming out of the pits. Neither will Wills. Wills got stuck into that wall. Mashalkova also having to get caught there. That is such a shame for both of them. Wills after towing finally gets on the jacks, finally gets the tyres done. A little bit too little, too late there for him, unfortunately. Such a shame with all the retirements today. We've had retirements. Juan Babokea is a lap down. He's going to the championship. And then you've got Dimitri van der Broek. He's 2 laps down. Angel Padero has retired 3 laps down at the moment. Timms, I don't think he's been having some hardware issues tonight. He's 4 laps down, retired. Adrad Al-Haddad, Michael Paderman and Alvin Kelberg, we all know what happened to them. They all had moments. But for Sophie Ripad, it is very much plain sailing. Even Bass took the pit stop and only came out 5.5 seconds behind Ripad, so not what he was looking forward to. Not what he was looking to. That's the way it goes. But Sophie with this Ferrari, it's been a very quick. And it's interesting to see because a lot of drivers, like I said, they're struggling with their setups. And when they're struggling with the setups, they also don't know what wing to take. And the wing is very important nowadays with the aero packages. So they've got to ask themselves, what wing do they want to take? What wing do they want to take? This is Stuart Reynolds, by the way. He's going to be making some moves down to the S's. He clips the inside there. That's not the S's, sorry. That's the karting S's. It's Corvette. He clips that inside. I don't think I've ever seen anybody clip the inside like that. That's a new one, even for me, if I'm brutally honest. But he keeps it going. He manages to save it. Sophie's now coming to the scene of the crime. Looks to be okay at the moment. Looks to be doing okay. Same with the pros. Same with the pros. We're not going to see a lot of the pros here. They're going to be switching their positions. But for these guys, they will be battling hard when it gets out of the final pit stop, which won't be happening for a while. I will tell you that for sure. But they do want to have a little bit of battling right now. Campbell and Fabian do want to go for that battle. There's going to be a little bit of a bump draft from Copa there. He's going to be bump drafting his teammate, but it's all for naught. He cannot get by, and he's going to try it to no avail. To no avail, and he continues on. Will he get a better line? I don't think he's got the good line here. Maybe he'll get another bump from his teammate. There we go. A bit more bump drafting from Copa. Campbell's just going to hold this steady. But I think they're in saving mode right now. They can do, we saw them do 7 laps. It's very hard right now with this fuel tank to do 8 laps around here. So they're looking at it. You're looking at about the same fuel tank as the VRS sprint race. For those unaware, it's 75 minutes, 2 mandatory pit stops. And It's all about the fuel saving tonight. As Sean looks to have another look, but realizes that's not him having a look per se. He just wants to hold on, and he's going to just hold on to that position. Take a little bit of fuel, give the space. His teammate Copa behind him's giving him the space already. Just what he wants to see. Now, this is Ethan Bass at the moment. Ethan Bass, he's looking at a big gap to Sophie Ridpad. He would need to get past Sophie, full stop. There's no questions, there's no ifs. Has to get past Sophie. Point standings, remember, it's 15 points. He needs to get past Sophie. He needs a miracle. At the moment, it's not looking very good. But a victory right now, that would be really good for him. He cannot afford to lose more time. If he can get the victory, he just gains that time a little bit. He puts the pressure on Stuart. Stuart can either go for that battle. No, sorry, not Stuart. Daniel, sorry, can go for that battle. Or he can just hold on. At the moment, he would win the championship by 10 points to Ethan Bass. Of course, Thomas Reiter, as he is, would be winning P3 in the championship. There's only, unfortunately, 5 Pro-Ams out there at the moment with Michelle Caverd and Wills. Unfortunately, both still in the pits. It's always nice to see the Ford out there. Gaps are not working for him. And I'm really curious how this Ford would go around here. I mean, everyone knows how it would take any car to go around here. Or a Ford to go around anywhere, full stop. However, when you think about what the Ford used to have, and it used to have a very good gearing ratio, and even more, look at this right now, it's still the very old cockpit as you just saw there. Used to have some good gearing ratio, it used to be able to just go a little bit longer and harder on the straights and faster even. Not the same, but it still has that ability to just pick up the pace, and everyone knows what Ethan Bass is capable of in a GT3 Ford and a GT2 Ford, to be frank. Through the Corvette he goes, and so does everybody else. There's Sophie, and there he goes. And then look at that gap to the rest. And look at this gap as well between Simon Dodd and Andrew Madel. Madel's been doing very well to catch this gap. Now, I just saw Stuart Reynolds just towed the car as well. And Stuart Reynolds, he's not in any battle, so unfortunately Reynolds had a mistake out there as well. Simon Dodd holding on right now. 1.4 seconds ahead of Andrew Madel. I mean, know in practice that the top speeds were about the same for both of them. I think it's about the same for everybody here. RSR boys probably just making a set on the fly like a lot of people have been. Just trying to hold on. Does Oscar decide to go for it right now? We'll see. Now, this is Stuart Reynolds. This is him coming down into Porsche. Is it going to be a moment at Porsche? Let's just see for the twisted driver. Loses it right away. And there's no way to save it. That is a very early twitch. And straight into the wall there he goes. And Reynolds, unfortunately, that's going to be a tow. And that would be heavy damage. Maybe a retirement. Who knows? Fabian's getting a little bit of a push now from Copa. And Copa just decides, no, that's enough. I'll get right on your tail. I'll get that speed. I'll save some fuel at it while I'm at it. Remember, these cars have not had the same clutch changes like the LMP2 cars some of the other drivers will be driving, so the clutch is still in effect for these drivers. Disengage the engine, keep some of the speed up, save a little bit more fuel, and you would expect to see some of these drivers doing that tonight. And they just see there, I wouldn't be surprised now if Oscar just decides to do a little bit more, probably clutching down there. They come into Indianapolis and now into Arnage. He's right on the back of that Ford right now. He's looking at the Iron Brew Ford as much as he can. Again, this is where he will decide it's best to just wait it out. Will he get a run? If he gets a run, he will lose a little bit of time, but he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Now he pulls out to one side. And this could be it. Copa goes. Fabian yields. And Copa with a slide. Ooh, 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 ooh. That looked very dicey. That looked very dicey there, but Copa takes the lead. Now what can Campbell do? You can see Campbell just threatening in the background. I don't think he'll be going for anything yet. Maybe he will look. Maybe he will look coming down to the Ford chicane. Poked his car out, but I think that's just doing a little bit of question asking there. Campbell just slips right into the back and then catches the gravel for good measure. He loses quite a bit of time from that, actually. Look at it. It's now half a second he's lost. We'll get the slipstream. He will still get some of the slipstream. I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets an off track there. We'll wait and see. Madel now. Madel on Dodd. And the gap continues to close. And Madel took 4 tenths out last lap. What can he do? I wouldn't say this lap. We've got to wait. There's 34 minutes left in the race. The pit window has not opened. His only saving grace now, with no offense to Simon. Simon has to make sure. Somebody must be telling Simon, make sure your tyres are unticked so you don't make a mistake in the pit box. Because not only is he looking at his first victory, well, he's looking at a P2 in the championship for one, but he's going to be stopping Madel from getting a podium. I will say, though, if both these drivers did, if they switched positions, it would still be the same. Basically, we're also looking at the battle here for P2 in the championship. Is what I'm trying to say right there, if I get my words out properly. This is a battle for P2 in the championship as well as that P3. Just due to the fact that Paterman, unfortunately, having that accident earlier in the race, which we did not see, but basically to give you a rundown, racing incident or an incident that may be protested, we will have to wait and see. Going down into the Dunlop chicane and Paterman getting tapped, and the next following driver, which was Manuel Melcoea, had nowhere to go. And unfortunately, that happened. And very fast and late braking from Madel down into the Ford chicane. Had that cost them a little bit? I don't think it has. But they're still looking at 19 laps. It may be 20 laps. That's going to throw a little wrench in the works. Curious to see if any of the drivers that have towed will come back out on the track. We've got three drivers, in the pits, still waiting to see if they come back out. And by the way, there's Harry Wills. There's one of them. You can see Marshall Caverd right behind as well. I think the other one will be Stuart Reynolds. Van der Broek, unfortunately, is a couple laps down after an incident at the start of the race. Van der Broek, unfortunately, having problems, and 1-1 Welkea still out there. But remember, he got caught in an accident. He is getting himself a little bit of just free air, making sure that if he finishes the race, he will get that championship. There's Michael Fowler. Kind of in no man's land at the moment. He's got a damaged wing at the back of that car, unfortunately, after some issues. I think a lot of these drivers are definitely struggling out there today. Now, he did miss an overtake in that amateur battle, by the way. Andrew Madel did get by going down into the Daytona chicane. And can he hold on to it now? I don't think Simon Dodd will mind too much. So if it stays like this, unfortunately, it's still not enough for Madel to get on the podium in the championship. And that would be a shame. He's doing everything right. He's driving it hard. He's just got to fend off that Ferrari of Simon Dodd. But at the moment, not looking very promising. Just a reminder of those points in the amateurs. One Mulcair was sits at 790, 785 for Paterman, 695 for Simon Dodd, and 685 for Andrew Madel. Maida will need that victory, and for Simon Dodd, he can actually afford a P2. But again, a P2 for Simon Dodd would get him second in the championship. A P1 for Maida would not get him the championship. Very tough out there at the moment, these two having their battle. But of course, Campbell's having fun. Actually, I say that right now. Simon Dodd's just hit the wall. Simon Dodd's just lost the car. Now, this is late drama. You can see right now he's just lost it before the turn-in for Indianapolis. And that is crabbing. We're going to see this replay right now. This looks to be the car just getting upset. Now, let's have a quick look. Did he touch anything? The car's gone round already. And again, these cars, these sets, this new aero package, it's very tough. And you can see the car just continue turning. Nothing like the old snap that we saw before. The car just kept on turning. He still has that P2. But that has to be a meatball. That has to be a meatball. He will have to pit there. And in fact, I'm looking. That is indeed a meatball flag. He does have that now to Simon Dodd. He has to take this now. And look at that. We just missed a 3 wide in the pros. And Sean Campbell takes the lead from Oscar Copa. Teammates training positions. These guys are just having an exhibition out there. They're just having some great fun out there. We're going to watch this again. Look at this. It's a procession. Would have been nice if the Ferrari was in the middle, but it's a fantastic procession here. And who's going to get it when they go 3 wide? It's the man in the middle. It's Sean Campbell. He's the man in the middle. Brilliant move. And he will hold on to that position right now. We're going to see. Again, not a lot will happen at the start of these straights, and there. That's not how you want to see someone's championship ends. That is so tough there. And now what's happened? Oh, car just won't turn. Car just won't brake. Car just won't turn. I know that feeling going down and missing the pit lane entrance there at Le Mans. Done that myself a couple of times. Once on a broadcast. It was never nice to see. And unfortunately, that might be Simon Dodd. We'll have to see. What it does mean, if the championship ends right now, we're looking like Kaleo wins the championship, Padaman gets the P2, and Maida will get the P3. And that'll be on countback. At the moment, somebody must be screaming to Andrew, you're 40 seconds in the lead. Just drive it easy. I say drive it easy. How many of us have actually crashed a car when being told, don't push, slow down? It's not a talent that's easy to do. And even Bass, though, he's not been slowing down. He's been speeding up, and he's been able to slow that gap a little bit. But it's not happened there. And Fabian, by the way, we may see it in a moment. Fabian just had a moment, but he is alive. He spun the car. We may see that in a moment. Fabian spun that car on the Ford. There he is right now. Let's just watch this again. This is karting. And then Corvette. There he goes. There he goes. And he keeps it out. And if you can hear the radio right now, folks, this is a very, very nice bit of sportsmanship, because the RSR boys actually asked, do you want us to come back? Because I think they realized that the two of them, the three of them really, are just having a bit of fun. As Timothy van der Broek, he had a little bit of a slide. I tell you what, that's one way of taking the karting S's, I must be honest. But the RSR boys did ask, did he want them to come back? And he actually declined. So it's just going to be an RSR 1 and 2 having a little battle by themselves. Fabian declined. But nice sportsmanship by the RSR drivers. Sophie Ripad into the pits, and we know Ethan Batt can go an extra lap. He's been able to extend that by a lap, so he will take one more lap, and Simon Dodd is still in the pit. Oh, you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Regardless of the person. You don't want anybody to crash out. to be fair, a lot of these accidents tonight have just been from just little mistakes. Campbell now and Copa, they'll have their little scrap on their own. Now, if you want to know who's who, if you don't know who's who, Copa is the... Well, I know he's the guy in P2, but he's the guy with the white rims. If you need a better indication there, the guy with the white rims is Copa, and Campbell does have the standard stock rims on that Lamborghini. Now, this will be good practice for these guys. Not that anybody is going to Le Mans. I think IMSA will be coming to Le Mans end of the season. That'll be the next time the GT3s are at this beautiful track. Because it is a beautiful track. So Campbell will be leading them up, but that'll be the next time. And of course, there's no GT3s at any 24-hour event around this track, or full day around this track. Madel's in the pits. He's just going to be taking it easy right now. 25 minutes he has to play with. He's just got to keep that car alive for 25 minutes. He can do it. That's not a problem. This is probably like the cleanest 25 minutes he's ever going to have at Le Mans, just to get that P3 in the championship. Free from Bass, he's leading the way. Remember, he does have to take a pit stop. Needs to take that pit stop. But he needs a lot of help. Daniel Sedgley's been right behind, a couple places behind him, and yeah, that's 10 points. Still means the championship's 5 points. He does need to get that. There's Daniel Sedgley at the moment. The gap would be 10 points. And that would mean it would be 5 points. And when you think, even Bass, he only needs Daniel Sedgley to lose one more place. Because on countback, even Bass would win the championship. He's had a victory at least. And unfortunately, Daniel Sedgley has yet to win this season. As the pros now come in, well, first of the pros dive into the pits. There's Ethan Bass once again, as I was just saying. Yeah, Daniel Sedgley has not won a race this season. He's had a P2, he's had a few P3s. But consistency has been key for the driver. He's been able to keep it very calm, very planted. Just doing what he's had to, the bare minimum. Being able to pick up when others have fallen, and, made mistakes or items has happened. Stuart Reynolds is now retired as well. That's the latest of the retirees. Unfortunately, we're down to just 10. Well, technically 13 drivers, but 3 of them are not on the lead lap, unfortunately. Well, it's 12. We don't know what Simon Dodd's going to be doing shortly, but only 10 are on the lead lap. It is a shame. We have lost half the field just down to issues, driving, I wouldn't say driving issues, because again, they're driving setups that they probably don't know. We're still in that black spot, and we'll be talking about that till the cows come home, really. It's such as the nature of this track right now. Sophie Ripad now coming around. You'll see. She'll probably overtake Ethan Bass when they come into the pits. She's already taken her pit stop. Comes around the Ford chicane right now. I don't think Ethan Bass is leaving the pit box. This is going to be a very tight battle between the two of them. There's Ethan Bass. Sophie's coming up now. Ethan might get the jump here, and that's going to be some good saving, but that gap is just under a second, and we know the pace from Sophie. This could be a very interesting finish to the race. And like I said, if it stays like this, Daniel Sedgley still has the championship by 5 points. A Ford versus a Ferrari at Le Mans. Where have I heard that before? Can't say I have. I don't know if anybody else has. Sophie's going to be pushing this very hard. We know what the Ferrari's got. The Ferrari, before the aerodynamic patch, really had a lot of top speed. This Ferrari was working really hard from SCW. And you can see the slipstream is working. Curious to see what speed she gets up to. Does she hit the 286? Yes, 287, 88, 89, 290, 291, 292 before getting on the brakes. What is that Ferrari made of? That's fantastic speed. We know these SCW drivers, they do have these good setups with the Ferrari, and it's just working well. And all of a sudden, that gap is just gone. That gap that Bass had from the pit stop. Managed to get that lead, but at what cost? Well, not at his cost. Sophie's now, I think she might be just lifting a little bit. She might just be waiting her time. And I think that's wise. I think that's wise. We talk about the straights around here. And we know the straights. Unideras, all three parts of the Unideras, Mulsanne Straight, as they say in English. You've got the Gulf Straight, Virage de Gulf. You've got the Virage de Buisson, the Buisson Straight, which is after Arnage. And realistically, if I'm in the situation here, I would be looking at trying to make that overtake, not here as they come down into Mulsanne Corner. I would be looking to make it now as we go into the Gulf Straight. It is the second longest. But from stop to start, it probably is the longest if you exclude the first part of the Unideras. So what can Sophie do? This is where they will probably hit that 290 once again. But she isn't close enough, and she may just decide to do just a touch of lifting. And there you go. It's a little bit of lifting. It takes a lot of speed in, but can't get that line. That was a brilliant line and can't make it work. Now she's going to have to take the outside line for Arnage, and she's just going to go for the cutback. And that's beautiful. Look at that cutback. And now she's on the tail of even Bass. May just had a tap by accident there. And she'll continue. There's a little bit of speed at the start. This car is trimmed out for top speed, not acceleration. Can she do anything when they come around to Porsche curves? Nope. Decides to hold on, and now comes that dirty air. Another way to describe it. Every time I've come to Le Mans here, every time you just see it, you can see that twitch. The back of the car there on that Porsche just went on her. It just went a touch. And she loses a little bit of time. She's going to have to do all that work again. But Bass came out the pits a second ahead. She gets a fantastic run out of the Ford chicane. But just nothing there at the moment. We'll continue with this battle, of course, because unfortunately, as you can see, there's not a lot going on. Such is the nature of what has happened today. There's Oscar Copa, and he's managed to pull out a 1.7 second lead to Sean Campbell. He's just been dominant, and to be fair, this is Campbell's first season with RSR, one of their newer signings. And he hasn't been bad, just to be brutally honest. He is a former World Series champion. Copa, former World Series champion. Both of them vying to see if they could be the first two-time champion. And Campbell's done his best. Had some good results, but unfortunately, Copa's just been a step ahead when it mattered. Michael Fowler is going to get a surprising P3. No ways about it. No ways about it. It is going to be a P3 for Michael Fowler. And he will just enjoy that. It won't make a difference to any of the championship standings, unfortunately. As we know now, if it stays like this, Simon Dodd still in the pit. It is going to be Juanma Moncleo will win the amateurs. Michael Padaman will finish P2, and Andrew Madel will get P3 in the championship. And Michael Fowler getting that P4. It will send him a few places up the championship, but I think he will still be about 8th in the championship. does see two cars fighting in front of him, but there are two cars not on the same lap. Werner S. and one Manuel Gea. But it doesn't stop them from having a little bit of a battle. Werner S technically is P2 in the P2, and I don't really think he would want to be challenged by somebody while he's holding on to P2, which I don't think is his best result of the season. I'll have to check that. It will be his best result of the season in P2. So I think he'd like to hold on to the championship. If he could, fantastic. But, you know, Manuel might just decide, hey, I'm faster. Do you mind letting me by? Please. We'll wait and see. And there you got Michael Fowler right behind. That's the problem, is Werner S. lets Kea by. Fowler's going to be right in that slipstream. The gap between those two is 2 seconds. Give or take a couple temps. So one thing we haven't mentioned, I'm usually good at mentioning this, but of course with all the rush going on today, I've not been able to. They started practice at 18 Celsius track temp. It is now 26 Celsius. And Sean Campbell just did a 350.5, the fastest lap of the race. I cannot think the last time I saw a 350 around here in a GT3. Got to see the information there. Thankfully, the admins decided to run the race in the start of the day, so it's now midday as the temperatures start to raise up. But we are the 23rd of March. I mean, I know if you're in England, there's been a bit of a heat wave today. Hotter than Benidorm, hotter than Ibiza in some places that they were saying today. But it's not going to warm up that much on the track. Michael Fowler is gaining with that little bit of damage to the wing. And there's Sophie Ridpad in again. Now, what's happened to Sophie? That's an invalid lap time. 2 invalid lap times. Now, I wonder, had she... There's a spin. There's another spin. There's a reverse. It would not surprise me if Sophie's gone incident points. Gone over the incident point. No, she pitted. And she's taken tyres. So there must be something wrong there with Sophie. That is a shame to see. Unfortunately, that brings us down to just 3 Pro-Ams still running. There's Daniel Sedgley. Daniel Sedgley will be now leading the championship. Well, leading the race. Oh, P2 in the race, sorry. Definitely got the championship. I'm getting my words mixed up here. Everything's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Daniel Sedgley will take P2 in the race. Will get the championship now. That gap was going to be 5 points. It's now going to be a staggering 10 points. Finish. Lead there for Daniel Sedgley over Ethan Bath, providing he does win. But we're over the 50% line. So he will get those points. We did see one of the people asking about the times the amateurs are running out there. Well, the amateurs are running some pretty good times out there, full stop. Unfortunately, Michael Fowler with a little bit of damage. He's been doing 57s to give you a nice idea of their lap times there. He's been doing some 57s. He's dropped into the 56s to cause a lot of the issues as well. I've cursed the man. I've cursed the man. Done it again. As I was saying, so some of these amateurs were driving some quick tides. We can talk about Simon Dodd before he crashed. He was doing 55s and 54s for the amateurs. Andrew Madel's out there at the moment doing 54s and 57s as well with a couple of slowdowns. He's just keeping it inside the white lines. And Sophie Ridpad, oh, that looked to be an off track. That looked to be an off track there for Ridpad there. I say an off track, that would be a slowdown. Sean Campbell and Copa, they're going to be battling once again, and Campbell has got that lead back. Yet again. These two just continue to trade places. It almost feels like, you know, when the F1 teams, they've got their F1 cars out doing a media day. That's what it feels like right now. This is Sophie again. Now, what's happened here with Sophie? Misses the chicane. Goes around and... Very well done. Very well done. But parks the car. That looks to be like there's some issues there. But she does continue on. It looks to be that was just a little bit of, oh hello, a little bit of a twitch. I wonder if she's got damage. There is that at hand. She's braking. She's taking her time. I do wonder. And it may be hardware issue right now. That car's not going. Yeah, that car's going very slow, and she's not fully revving in fourth gear. She's halfway on the revs on fourth gear. That was to let another driver by, by the looks of it. That might have been the reason, but I wonder what has happened here with Sophie. It'd be a shame. Does she go all the way now? She does indeed. No idea what's happened there. Vanna Brewer came out the pits and just came out the pits. No one else to say about it, and then just decided not worth it. Something tells me he may have just come back out. Now Sophie's unable to get up to full speed. That time she got up to fifth gear and was unable to get it past fifth gear. I cannot see anything that would say there's big issues. By the way, yes, you just saw Sean Campbell overtake Copa overtake Campbell for the lead. Such as that. Reiter's going to be coming up behind. Is there going to be a move here? And she gets into sixth gear. Maybe that they're running super long gears, but that Ferrari, sorry, just not look very good out there at the moment. And Campbell and Copa having a little bit of fun right now. They go side by side into the Porsche curves. You know, they're going to try this. They're going to try this. Side by side into Porsche curves. Not happen. They come to zero to point. And they just decide, yep, not worth it. Campbell gives it up. And he'll live to fight another day. 7 minutes remaining. 7.5 minutes remaining. Now, Ryan just got the position back from Sophie. Sophie can't take it. Or doesn't want to take it even. This is interesting. Who will take this right now? And Sophie will just yield the position. Again, no idea what has happened there. Trying to see what has happened, but there is a little bit of damage to that car, but nothing too major. So, very puzzling, to say the least, but Werner and Michael Fowler have been continuing to battle. Now, Michael Fowler's doing, we were talking about the times that Michael Fowler was doing, and he's matching Werner S right now. The damaged wing has been causing issues. And to me, Van der Broek just saying on chat, hence why he did pull in, pull out, and then pull in. Fortunately, he did have steering damage that was non-fixable, which usually points to some suspension damage. That is a shame for anyone out there. And now again, Sophie's gone, and that is Thomas Reiter having a spin out there. We'll get to see what happens here. The Panda 1 racing car comes in for the Daytona chicane and looks to be too hot. Too hot. Can't slow it down in time. And lucky not to hit that tire wall. And he manages to hold on, but he will go a lap down. But he just decides, it's fine. I'll just go and use that slipstream to my advantage. Just tuck in and just hope for the best. I'll watch from the best as well. Campbell, of course, 6.4k. Copa, just a smidge under 7.2k. You should see those guys battling the top splits. Maybe seeing those guys battling in the top split of the 12 Hours of Sebring this weekend on iRacing. Be interesting to see what happens out there this weekend. It probably might be the reason as well for the low turnout tonight. Just with people getting ready for the big event, and especially being that a lot of people still testing setups at this late stage of the week. Michael Fowler having a bit of fun out there. He's been trying to catch Werner S, but on the straights with a little bit of a bent wing, it is tough. We always know what happened with bent wings. Sometimes the wings can be fixed, sometimes they just can't, and there is a lot of bend on that wing. But he's using it to his advantage. Look at that in the corners, was able to take the karting S and Corvette very well. And he's caught up to the back of Werner S. And Werner's coming to the pits with 4 minutes to go. Now that has to be for incident points. But there's no flag next to him when he crosses the line. If I don't see a time, that is incident points. No, I reckon he's got no fuel. I wouldn't want to say it, but I do reckon no fuel for Werner S. That's... Yeah, no, there he goes. He's out straight away. He was a lap short on fuel. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Leaders will take the final lap. Copa and Campbell will take the final lap of the race. This one's almost in the books, but mind you, they have a minute lead to the next class. So we will be waiting a time, and Copa has a slowdown out of the Dunlop chicane. Sophie Ridpad in the pits again. Campbell did take that position away from Copa. Oh, don't tell me Campbell just got a slowdown. That looked very close. Looking okay at the moment. What does Copa do? He just waits. Now we have seen a final lap here on the World Series last season. We did see a battle from the last lap where we did see an overtake. And it was made actually at Mulsanne corner. And I think that's what Copa's doing right now. Realizing the opportunity will be down at Mulsanne as they're in to Daytona. He's right on the back, is Copa. He's right on the back of his teammate. Cheeky bump. And a nice little kiss there. Cheeky little bump. He's just going to hold on. Continues to hold on. He's biding his time. And Campbell right in the middle of the track. The fastest part of the track. It always sounds weird to say that, but it is indeed fastest part. Copa gets a really good exit. Again. Doesn't want to make the overtake yet. But he will go for it now. And the side-by-side. And the run is to Copa. The inside, the middle of the track, sorry, is to Copa. You know what? He's actually given the position back. Now, this is gamesmanship. Now, I like this. I like this a lot. Copa realizes. Amanda Broek with damaged car and all trying to get by Not working, unfortunately, for Timothy. It's such a shame after what happened at the start of the race. But I reckon this is what Copa's trying to do. Copa realizes the situation here. And he realizes that if he was to get that position before Mulsanne, he would not be able to defend it here. And he's going to go for a late move down into Indianapolis right now. They're going to go side by side into Indianapolis. Campbell's going to try and fight this. Side by side they go. Copa's got out ahead. He's going to try and make it around the outside. They're still side by side. The overlap is there still. But Copa's finally got it. And he's going to shut that door. Not in time. They do touch. Oh, they touch heavily. And that will be all she wrote in the championship. Copa is going to get there. Fabian may have a late chance here at a battle. It did look to me like Campbell did not realize one of those racing incidents. Too wide. We'll see it here. Too wide at Arnage is always tough. And it would not surprise me if that is just what happened there. Campbell starts to turn it. Yeah. Either a bit too early or a bit too early turning in, or Copa didn't turn in. It's one of those. It's a racing deal. But a racing deal is that Oscar Copa will be a couple corners away from being the champion at the pros. Not only does he win at Le Mans, he becomes Season 2 Race Anywhere World Series Pro Champion. It's Oscar Copa. And what a dominance it had been. Sean Campbell gets that P2. Fabian gets the win. I think Sean just blew his engine. Yep. Sean just blew his engine, and they are having a bit of fun after the line. So, as they just continue to celebrate, Ethan Bass has only just gotten down to the Busan Straight. He will take this. He will not win the championship, unfortunately. The pieces did not play out there. He needed to be a few cars ahead of Daniel Sedgley. And for Daniel Sedgley, it is going to be the championship. Stephen Bass takes a little bit of a slowdown. He gets a little bit of celebrating. Don't overdo it with the celebrations. Still got to cross that line. He will take it all the way. Weaving and coasting. He'll take the victory for sure. Unfortunately, it will be Daniel Sedgley taking home the championship. Ethan Bass will come home winning the Pro-Ams. But to lose by 10, he's just holding on. He's just holding on 1 second. Trying to make that gap look a little bit closer than it was. Daniel Sedgley is about to come around the corner. I'm not surprised if Ethan just gives him the victory. No. Wants to make it quick. And Daniel Sedgley gets home in P2. Will win the championship with Daniel Sedgley. Very good. And this is the man who all he had to do was win and hope everything played around him to get a P3 in the championship. And that's exactly what he's going to get right now. Just a few more corners for Andrew Madel. Down the karting S's. In to the Corvette. He's going to get a slowdown here. But if you've got a minute-long gap, I suppose it's not too bad. He's just going to wait his time right now. I think he's going to get Simon Dodd. Simon Dodd just finishing ahead of him. And Andrew Madel will win in the amateurs. And because of everything that's happened around him, he will take home third place in the amateurs. Fantastic for Madel. There are a couple drivers still out there. Michael Fowler and Werner S. will be... one Manuel Kea as well at the back of the field. Will be the last few cars. Gap is 1.5 seconds between Fowler and Werner S. So don't expect any fireworks here unless there's a mistake from one of these drivers. I'm knocking on wood. We don't want to see any more mistakes. No more mistakes out there. We'll wait and see right now. Is there anything going to be happening here for Fowler or Werner S? There will not be. Just seeing. Always nice to just see all the cars come home. You count them in, you count them out as they leave the out. If you leave the pit lane, and you make sure you count them in when they come back in. Michael Fowler will be getting the P2 in the amateurs, or is he? Is he? Has he just lost it there? Oh no, I don't know. Just keeps it. Just keeps it there. Left it a bit too tight. Werner S will take home P3 in the battle, so you can see there is the 3 cards for pros, and it's Campbell, Copa, Campbell, and Triseg. Copa takes home the championship. Campbell will get P2. Then for the Pro-Ams, Ethan Bass will win the race. Daniel Sedgley comes home in P2. Sedgley wins the championship. Thomas Reiter comes home in 3rd. Sophie Redpad will be 4th overall. Mitchell Mashalkoverd will be 5th. Stuart Reynolds 6th. Harry Wills 7th. And Alvin Kelberg finished at the start of the race and retired in 8th. And then when it comes to the amateurs, it's going to be Andrew Madel leading the way for the amateurs. He gets that 3rd place in the championship. Michael Fowler will come home in 2nd with Werner S 3rd. It didn't look as close as it says there. Trust me, Michael Fowler did have a big lead, well, about a 2.5 lead. One Mile KO comes home in 4th, wins the championship. Simon Dodd will be 5th, and Timothy van der Broek will be 6th. Angel Badera will be 7th, Dean Timms 8th. Ashraf Al Haddad will be 9th. Michael Patterman will be 10th. Now, we've got a lot of people waiting to talk. I'm hoping I can actually move people today. I can indeed. So that's a good start. Let's get in the RSR boys. There is Oscar. There is Sean. Giving us some entertainment for the end of the race, end of the season. But Oscar Copa, once again, you're back in the victory lane and you're the champion. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing. I love it.
just put it like that. But it was very interesting to see you two having your battles once again. And can I just say, was that a little bit of gamesmanship on the last lap there? Because you had a chance to overtake at Mulsanne, but you decided not to. I think I know why. Were you just having some gamesmanship there?
I guess so. It was just
Yes.
a bit of fun.
Yes. Actually, I wanted to talk to Sean because, Sean, we did see the incident there at Arnage. I'm not going to say, I don't want you to throw your teammate under the bus there, but did you turn in a bit too early there? Or was that just good?
I turned in too early. I couldn't see him. That's single monitor life. Like the indication that I got to see his right front fender before I started spinning.
Oh no!
But I didn't mean to hit him at the end at the end. We both blew our engines up, and then I spun out.
I saw him blow his engine up, but it's been a very interesting championship for you two. Of course, unfortunately, the pro numbers did dwindle down a little bit, but you did have some very interesting battles. Are there any race that actually stood out to you two?
I think Mid Ohio was a good one.
Yeah, Mid Ohio was a good one. That was
that was very interesting.
Yeah, at the very start for the first couple of laps where James, Yanis, me, and Oscar were going at it was really good.
We were going so slow that Pro-Am was catching.
Like we were fuel saving a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He did the world's slowest overtake.
Yeah. We both decided to lift. Sean lifted a little bit earlier, so that's how I got the overtake done.
So, I mean, the important question I've got is, does this championship result prove that Oscar's better than Sean?
Obviously.
Very clearly, yes.
I'm going to say it is your first, especially for us, it's your first season or first time in the RSR colours, Sean. So, I mean, has it helped you? Because it's obvious, we know the pedigree of RSR. And seeing you in the red and black, has that helped you leaps and bounds, especially with the help you're getting with the rest of the team?
I think especially for league racing, there's a new element that I'm trying to learn, and it's strength in numbers. Having a teammate is fun, and you can do strategy with it. Not saying that either of us were a number 2 driver, though.
No.
Especially at the end.
I think Zolder proves that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I don't know if you saw the replay back of that broadcast. I did say I hope these two don't do what BMW did in Formula E, and you did what BMW did in Formula E. You proved me wrong. I got to stop cursing people. I'm going to let you guys go shortly, but I'm going to I don't know which one of you two want to give your shout outs, but if you've got any shout outs, please, by all means, let them go.
Sean, go for it.
No. Oscar, you go for it. No.
Obviously, this shout out to the sponsors, Butt Kicker, who've got a giant new deal with lately. We're on the main page of iRacing on a Butt Kicker ad, so that's huge. We have G Performance, Velasquez Engineering, FHN. Did I forget anything? Probably. But anyways, and thanks to Sean, obviously, for a very entertaining and fun season, and you guys for the brilliant broadcast as always.
Thank you once again very much, lads, and congratulations on your championship. And I think also you win the team championship. I mean, you were getting first and second every week, so I'm pretty sure that's why you would get the team championship. So congratulations to both of you two, and have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, me too.
Now, who would I like to get in next? Sorry, Oscar, just move you over 1 second. Let's get in Juan Manuel Keller, if he's there. I just have to see. Juan, are you there? I just want to say congratulations. Are you there, Juan?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Not the race you were looking forward to. Talk us through what happened in that incident.
Not at all, yeah. So in the beginning of the race, I think it was the second lap. Michael Patterman was just battling with Angel Pedrero, and yeah, they just crashed in front of me, and I couldn't avoid it. So I just killed his race, my race. So yeah, it wasn't the race I was looking for, yeah. But well, races are like that, and yeah, I just could not do anything to avoid them.
It was a shame that the championship was decided that way, but it did give you the championship, and of course that you've had some fantastic racing with everybody here this season. Is there any race that stands out as your favorite this season?
Yeah, I think Spa was my first win here in this championship, and it was quite a special one because yeah, I really loved that circuit. I really felt good with the car. I felt I had the pace to win, and yeah, it was a fantastic feeling. So I think Spa was my favorite one.
That's fantastic. I mean, I'm not going to say are you going to use your winnings right away, but is there anything anything you'd like to spend the winnings on?
Yeah, I have already seen some interesting sim rigs in the Race Anywhere page. So yeah, I think I will do something with that.
Juan, before we let you go for the evening, because I know it is getting late, is there any shout outs you'd like to give? Any shout outs?
Just thanks to everybody for this amazing amateur season. Yes, Michael Patterman, he has been great all over the season. Even today, we were having a great battle up to that point. So yeah, it was a pity. And also all the others, Timothy van der Breck, Simon Dodd, Dean Teams, everyone, just everyone. It was a great racing at every race we were racing. So yeah, that was amazing.
Once again, congratulations on the championship. Have a great rest of your evening and enjoy the rest of your racing.
Thanks. Have a good night.
And you too. Thank you, Juan. Right, I think we got time for one more. I do apologize at those, but we just got time for one more, I feel. Let's get in the winner of the race for the Pro-Ams, but unfortunately just missing out on the championship is Ethan Bass. I mean, everything fell your way apart from everybody falling. Meant that unfortunately the championship just didn't happen there for you, Ethan.
Yes, that's putting it mildly. I'm surprised to see so many people just not being able to handle Le Mans with the updates to the cars. 5 people in Pro-Am all crashing either by themselves or with help. It was a surprise to see, kind of thing. I thought I was the one that had the car trimmed out quite a bit. Apparently, I had it conservative.
I always like talking with you about setups because I know how the Ford is always weird or different. Is the better word. Like, do you go? Is the best way to go aggressive around here, or not nowadays? Because I did see a lot of drivers trying a little bit less wing. Did you find that? Did you think it was better to bolt on more wing around here for this race?
Well, I'll quite gladly say what wing level I ran since the season's over, and we're all going to be learning these cars anyway. I don't really mind giving the set away, but 2 wing was planted through the Porsche curves, and I still had the legs and everybody else. So I think it's just a characteristic of the Ford that just has this really good top speed, despite the fact if you bolt wing on. It was similar at Monza, but Monza has greater traction zones where you then suffer, which is the Ford's Achilles heel, rear end traction. So it's actually better here than it was at Monza. Hence why it was a little bit of a simpler race for me tonight. I'm surprised I was the only one to get 7 laps out of the fuel tank, though.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. I know the fuel tanks have changed a little bit nowadays, but the fuel rate usually is the same. But yeah, you were the only one to get 7 laps. I think it actually did help you at the end, but I mean, one of the things, apart from the start of the race, there wasn't a lot of tandem racing in the Pro-Ams. So, I mean, the question is, like, for anybody there, what do you do, especially at Le Mans? Because it can be a very, very boring track if you're just hot lapping or bubble driving. How do you keep yourself entertained? Because that would probably, as much as I love this track, being on my own with no one racing against, really, apart from a 5-second gap, that must have been boring.
I wouldn't have said it was anywhere as entertaining as, say, Daytona was, but I honestly really don't mind. Like, ideally, having a chill race would have actually been enough for me if I could have had 2 cars between me and Daniel, and that would have been enough for the title, kind of thing. So I would have taken a calm race and have the likes of Stuart, Harry, Reiter, Albon all sit behind me in front of Daniel. That would have gifted me the title. But just the way things fell, it was all them fell over.
Such a weird way that things happened there tonight, which is, I'll be looking at that later because I could not believe what happened. Even before we let you go for the night, is there any shout outs you'd like to give?
Thanks to everyone at TechSense FitStyle for cheering me on. Lone person, maybe I'll bring reinforcements for next season, because imagine I've had 2 squadron mates just follow behind me. That would have given me the title, so that's something to think about. To everyone else at FitStyle sponsorships of TechSense, Rembel, Demon Tweaks, Flight Color, Cancer, Majors Garage, Sim3D for helping us out and keeping us all well supported to keep the team going and enjoying good events, leagues like this. And then thanks to you lot at Race Anywhere, Go for the Gap, Sim3D, said that already, Absolute Sim Racing for the great broadcast as well. It might have been a bit of a chill race, but I'll still enjoy watching this back, because who doesn't enjoy watching a Ford GT3?
Exactly, Ethan. Congratulations on the victory tonight. Commiserations on the championship with the P2, and we look forward to seeing you. All the best, my friend.
Yep, hopefully come back next season with some reinforcements, and hats off to Daniel. He gets the win in Pro-Am, and he didn't even ever win a race in the Pro-Am class. He still wins the title because he was way more consistent than me this season, so hats off to him. That was a great championship victory for him. I think that's 2 in a row for him actually now, so hats off to him.
Thank you very much, Ethan. Well, I was going to end it, but I've got to bring this man in because I know a lot of people were watching him tonight. A lot of people were watching, and unfortunately, we all saw. Sorry, Simon, we all saw it. I hate to say it, we all saw the accident. It's commiserations on what happened there, and it was looking so good for you tonight.
Yeah, it was all looking nice and easy, and well, say easy. It wasn't looking that easy. Andrew was closing in on me at a fair rate of knots, and then I thought, I looked at my fuel calculator and I was like, oh, I'm about 10 litres short here. This could be interesting, so I thought I'd let him past. And then you obviously saw what happened. I heard from other people that you may well have given me the commentator's curse as well, sir.
No,
so
nope.
I'm definitely blaming it on you.
Nope. Was not me. It was unfortunate. Did the incident that took out Padaman and Kea, did that affect your driving? Knowing that if you then got the win, you weren't looking at a P3, you were looking at a P2?
To some degree, yes, but I wouldn't say it affected my driving. All I was focused on going into the race was Andrew Maidel. I just needed to finish one place behind him, and I kept that third place. And then when it came round to the end of lap 1 and I was sat in first place in the AMS and Patterman had gone off and he'd towed to the pits, and I was like, oh, so this third place has now turned into a second place in the championship. So I just sort of, I wouldn't say I relaxed, but I felt less pressure because I had a 5 or 8 second gap or something like that to Andrew at that point. Actually, it wasn't even Andrew, whoever it was that was in second at that point, and then something else happened, and then Andrew came through and he was the one in second, and he just started to close me down. And I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to keep it relaxed. And then I noticed the fuel, and I was like, this is going to be very tight. So I thought I'd save some fuel behind Andrew, and then the mistake into Indianapolis happened, and that barrier was just in the wrong place for me, sadly. And I had a tow of something, I think like 45 degrees of tow when I came into the pits, but hey-ho.
Yeah, what happened there? Because usually when I see a crash at Indianapolis, it usually either goes wide, the car twitches and goes left, but the car just kept going right. Was there any feeling that the car was going that way?
I think what happened is I took that right-hander. I was off the throttle a little bit just so I didn't run into the back of Andrew, saving a bit of fuel, and it was just slightly less settled than it normally was, because normally that's flat for me with my setup. And I was just off the throttle a bit, the back end twitched a bit, and it literally stepped out just as I hit the brakes. And of course, when you're in that situation, there's not a lot you can do about it, sadly, and it just spearfished me straight into the barrier, front right and then rear right, and yeah, it all went horribly wrong after that, sadly.
Yeah, it's such a shame, unfortunately, Simon. I was looking forward to a really good battle between you and Andrew.
Yeah, same
so
here.
Hard to see, yeah. Before we let you go for the evening, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Everyone that's organised the race. I think Ethan just covered absolutely everyone in terms of the sponsors for Absolute Sim Racing and Race Anywhere, World Series and everything. I'll shout out to Eclipse Racing Team as well and Twiggy for sending the setup. Family and friends watching this and everyone else. And one for you here, Craig. I love you all. Just for you.
Simon, commiserations for what happened tonight, but it's been a good season to see you racing around. We look forward to seeing you later on and probably next season. All the best, my friend, and I know it's gonna sting for a bit, but all the best.
Cheers, man. See you next season.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the season. We've seen a very dramatic finish to the season, which I couldn't predict myself, but apologies for the late start. And I want to thank David for jumping in at the very last moment and then some. I think it wasn't the 12th hour, it was the 2 a.m. in the morning hour. So thank you once again to David, and thank you everyone for sticking around and waiting for any coverage we can give you. So if you did like what you saw in this very short stream, hit that like button and the subscribe button. I just see we're close to 600 subscribers. That's always nice. Just the more milestones we get, the better it is. So please do feel free to hit that subscribe button, and of course the bell when we go live again. And later on in a few hours will be the Americas Series, their finale here as well at Le Mans. I know some of the American drivers getting ready for the race by watching this and seeing what can happen. So do check them out. A shout out, of course, to Race Anywhere for sponsoring this season of the World Series. It's been fantastic to have them on board. They, of course, go for the Gap as well, and Sim 3D. That is going to be it for me for another season here of the World Series, and of course, that's going to be us as well. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for watching all season, and I hope I've entertained you. I hope we've entertained you as much as we can. So until I next see you, everybody, please take it easy. Enjoy your Sebring races this weekend and have a very good rest of your spring. Yeah, the rest of your spring. Until then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.